Alright, so the MTG Arena official Twitter has announced the news that the Alchemy balance changes are coming soon. So let's take a look at what it says. We know people are eager for new Alchemy balance changes, although to give players time to prepare, we'll be waiting until after the next Arena Open and qualifier weekend before sharing any new changes. More details will be provided on January 12th with our upcoming weekly blog. Okay, so this is likely an announcement of an announcement, which does frustrate me a bit, because the whole idea of Alchemy format is to keep up with the digital age, right? And allow for quick hotfixes and such to the format. And they promised a balance change every month, and they already broke it. And this is the first month of the format as well. Well, as you can see here, the comments to this post is just a bunch of angry comments, as you would expect, right? But so January 12th is where they announced the date of the next update to Alchemy format. I don't really understand why companies do this. Announcement of an announcement. It's like we're living in a stone age, for God's sake. Okay, enough ranting. So let's talk about the cards that I think might undergo changes. So I do exclusively play Historic with some Historic Brawl here and there. But being a Historic player, Alchemy cards do directly influence the cards in Historic. Don't ask me why, but that's just how Wizards of the Coast has decided. It's the same thing as saying, hey, this card is too powerful for Standard, let's ban this card. But if we ban it here, we'll also have to ban it in other formats as well because it's too powerful for Standard. Yeah, I know, ridiculous. So currently the best decks in Alchemy are, I believe, Azorius Control, the Dragon mid-range decks, and the Sanguine Brushstroke decks at the moment, I believe. Oh, and there is also Inquisitor Captain decks in the mix as well. I almost forgot about the Captain decks because currently in the Alchemy meta, kind of getting beaten up by the Control decks and the Brushstroke decks because they both play a form of board wipe either through Mihawk Massacre and Divine Purge. So there's this dynamic of Control decks getting eaten up by the Dragon mid-range decks that play Fearsome Whelp and the Town Raiser Tyrant, and the Dragon decks get destroyed by the Inquisitor Captain decks, especially the life gain version. And I'm not 100% sure on this, but I believe the Control deck beats the Brushstroke decks because the Divine Purge hits both the blood tokens and all their creatures as well. So speaking from this meta dynamic perspective, the nerfs will probably come from those decks. So from the Control decks, Divine Purge I think is a bit too strong. A 3-mana board wipe that hits 3 or less mana cost, and on top of that, artifacts as well, is a bit ridiculous. You can still replay them, but the 2-cost tax is a little bit too heavy for you to make a comeback from this. Also, the Key to the Archive comes to mind. I'm pretty sure you've played against this card or have played it in Alchemy before, and a lot of people are very, very angry at this card. You've probably experienced some absurd RNG twist that you thought you were winning and it should have been your win, but they chain off a bunch of time warps, or they get a random Day of Judgment at the right timing, or get Approach of the Second Sun as their win con. This card is very toxic. Next, looking at Fearsome Whelp here. This card, I mean, I said it before when the card was revealed. If the dragons are good, this card will be the most busted card ever. Permanently discounting your hand every turn is something you really can't keep up. I actually saw a pretty smart Reddit comment saying that this card should be changed to the text so that you get the cost discount at the start of your upkeep after you play this. I thought it was really smart. And as for the Brushstroke decks, obviously the card to nerf here would be the Sanguine Brushstroke, but I'm not sure if the card truly deserves a nerf, to be fair. It's essentially a 3-mana do-nothing for the turn, and the damage it accumulates is pretty slow, although it can rapidly accelerate the damage it can do, but I'm not sure if it deserves a nerf. So I would be very surprised if this card was nerfed, but the Brushstroke decks are currently dominating the format at the moment, so again, I would be wary of what you craft. And lastly, Inquisitor Captain. Okay, so Inquisitor Captain is an incredibly strong card, but in Alchemy at the moment, it's not doing so hot, I believe. A lot of the people still play this deck, but it's probably the most played deck. However, it's not performing well because of the Brushstroke decks with Meathook Massacre and control decks with Divine Purge, or even Izzet decks that run Burn Down the House. But in Historic, Inquisitor Captain is very strong at the moment, so we'll have to see. So let's sum it up real quick here. In my opinion, I think Sanguine Brushstroke won't see a change, and same goes for Divine Purge, because it is there to keep Sanguine Brushstroke decks in check. But I think the Key to the Archive will see a change because it's just not a fun card to play against. Everybody hates it, so from gameplay pattern perspective, it will probably see a change to that card. And Fearsome Whelp will probably see change so that it will decrease the cost at the start of their upkeep. And lastly, Inquisitor Captain will almost surely will get nerfed. Probably to some extent of seeking cards from top few cards similar to the Collected Company treatment. They could actually do something like nerf and buff at the same time to be a little bit more fair, because it is one of the most played decks. If they do nerf it and they don't give any wild cards back, there's gonna be a huge backlash. So for example, they could change something into like, look at the top 10 cards and seek 3 cards instead of 2, and you can choose to play from the 3 cards instead. And this would be more fair because they'll be nerfing the range of the cards that the card looks at, but you get to choose from the 3. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and if you want to see more videos from me similar to this, hit that subscribe button because it really helps the channel a lot. And I'll see you all later. Bye bye.